I always imagined that it was grass like this, where Pharaoh's daughter Batya found Moses in the river, flowing in the basket, and just reached out her hand and grabbed him. And we see in this Parsha how he kept with God every step of the way. You want to hear something cool? You want to trip out in a little bit of Torah? When Moses kept coming to Pharaoh and saying, "Let my people go, let the nation of Israel out," Pharaoh said, "No, no, 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 no." And after the first 5 plagues, it says, God hardened or strengthened Pharaoh's heart. Does that mean he's taking away his free will? Does that mean, hey, you're in it now? And I heard a beautiful explanation, I believe it's from the Zer Shimshon, who says, not only did he strengthen his heart, but he strengthened his heart after the fact, when the plague disappeared. Pharaoh was so egotistical, was all about himself, and I don't know your God, I don't know this, I am. People didn't even know he went to the bathroom. He went in the morning, in the wee hours of the morning, to wee in the river, and he put himself up there. So when he was in the middle of a plague, he was like, Moses, you ask your God to take away this plague, and then I'll let your people go. And after he didn't do that again and again, it says God hardened his heart, but after the plague disappeared, from the time Moses warned him until after the plague finished, he had the opportunity to let the nation go. But no, not while there's a gun to my head, not while I'm under pressure. I'm not doing that. Until the 12th plague, the 10th plague comes, the death of the firstborn. And Pharaoh says, oh, you're not going to scare me. In fact, it's brought down that he went to sleep wearing his PJs because he was like, dude, it's not happening. And the nation of Israel was like, guys, Moses is like, we're going out tonight. Midnight, we're going to be free. Trust me. They're like, we want to believe. We want to trust you. We want to believe every word you're saying. But we've been here for 210 years talking about generational trauma. 210 years of slavery, of back-breaking labor, again and again and again, from grandfather to father to child. Yes, they knew God existed. Yes, they trusted. But their trust was so... They were just grasping on straws and branches. And 210 years, Pharaoh going to sleep, and them saying like, dude, he brushed off every other plague. Why the heck do you think he'll take this one seriously? Why do you think this will be the one that he'll take and, okay, you can go now? Because midnight comes. And not only does Pharaoh, he doesn't call them. He goes out. He sends his advisors. He's running around in the PJs. There's a kid's song. Pharaoh in pajamas in the middle of the night. Ay, 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 ay. We like, where does that come from? Because he's like, guys, go, take gold, jewelry, diamonds, take everything. Go. His people before that, from the plague of locusts, even if his own servants were like, we've been shutting our mouths long enough and keeping quiet. Pharaoh, now is the time. Let them out. Enough is enough. And Pharaoh sees. And he even asks them, he says, Moses, Aaron, bless me. And he actually switched around the letters. We know that when there's a tzaddik who prays for someone who's going through a hard time, they can turn around like pesha, like punishment, to shefa, to abundance. They can switch around words. What is it? Onesh to... They can keep switching around words. Bless me was the same, it corresponds to the same words in numerology as the death of the firstborn. So Pharaoh knew his dark magic. He knew his stuff. And even in this, he was like, bless me all. I'm a firstborn. There's still a little fear that I might die. Bless me. From 9 to 12, people came from Section 8 slavery to leaders, to bankers, just to give an example, to lawyers and doctors, to 90 donkeys minimum we spoke about for the poorest Jew to leave Egypt. Big donkeys packed with jewels, packed with riches and treasures. And you think God can't solve the little itty problems we have? How small-minded are we sometimes? There is no one but God. There is no one but our Father in heaven who is so nuts and crazy about us. Of course he can change it. Of course he can. But if we're not recognizing why we're going through the test, it's keep on going loop-de-loop. We have to take the lesson out of it. Be thankful and grateful for the experience. Let go of anger. Let go of grudges. No matter people who wronged us, forgive them. That doesn't mean inviting them back into your life, but that means letting yourself go, letting peace roll. We don't need to let them take up pieces of our heart and mind. We can give it all to Hashem, who's there and saying, my son, my daughter, my princes and princesses, I love you and I want to spoil you with the most amazing goodness. But please create that vessel of purity, of hope, of faith, of trust within me so I can give you what you're asking for. It's already there. It's just sometimes the channels and tubes gets a little mixed up, but it's already there. Know that Yeshuat Hashem Ke'erif Ayin, God's salvation is in the blink of an eye. Guys, start blinking. Start believing. May this Shabbat bring us from whatever baggages of trauma, of slavery, of bondage that we've been through, whatever we're holding on to be able to say, I let it go, I release it. God, thank you for this. I've taken the lesson, I've taken the strength, I've taken the tools through this test you've given me. And I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to chapter up, to level up, and to be the best I can be, trusting you completely, bringing this Shabbos of love, light, and freedom down to my body and soul, and ready to rock and get out of control in the best way. Shabbat Shalom.